Imagine for a moment that you are doing everything right. You are eating your greens, choosing whole grains over white flour, snacking on fruits, and avoiding processed junk. You believe you are building a fortress of health around your body. But what if I told you that inside that fortress, there is a silent saboteur? What if the very superfoods touted by fitness gurus and magazines are actually accelerating damage to one of your most vital organ systems? For millions of people, specifically those with compromised renal function or early-stage chronic kidney disease, these 5 healthy foods could be secretly destroying their kidneys. Welcome back to our deep dive into body wellness and nutrition. Today, we are navigating a very specific and critical topic that bridges the gap between general healthy eating and medical dietary restrictions. Before we begin, please remember that the information presented here is for educational purposes only. If you have kidney issues or suspect you might, your nephrologist and a renal dietitian are your best resources. Kidney disease is often called a silent killer because symptoms rarely appear until the organs are significantly damaged. The kidneys are your body's filtration system, responsible for removing waste, balancing fluids, and regulating electrolytes. When they are not working at full capacity, certain minerals that are usually healthy can build up to toxic levels in the blood. Today, we are revealing 5 foods that are universally considered. The first food on our list is the beloved avocado. In the world of nutrition, avocados are practically royalty. They are packed with heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, fiber, and antioxidants. However, for anyone with kidney issues, avocados carry a heavy load of potassium. A single avocado can contain nearly 700 milligrams of potassium, which is more than double the amount found in a medium banana. For a person with healthy kidneys, this potassium is excellent for regulating blood pressure. However, when kidneys are failing, they lose the ability to filter excess potassium from the blood. This leads to hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia is dangerous because it is often asymptomatic until it becomes critical. It affects the electrical signals in the body, specifically in the heart. This can lead to nausea, weakness, numbness, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest. If you have been told to watch your potassium intake, that daily avocado toast might be placing a massive strain on your system. It is not that the avocado itself is toxic, but rather that your filter is clogged. The mechanism here is straightforward. Your kidneys usually excrete about 80 to 90% of the potassium you eat. If your glomerular filtration rate, or GFR, is low, that potassium stays in the blood, turning a superfood into a serious risk factor. Moving on to number 2, we have a staple of the health food world, whole wheat bread. For years, we have been told to ditch white bread because it is refined, stripped of nutrients, and spikes blood sugar. While that is true for the general population, the rules flip upside down for kidney patients. Whole wheat products, including bread and pasta, are significantly higher in phosphorus and potassium than their refined white counterparts. This is because the bran and the germ of the grain, which are removed in white bread, are where most of the minerals reside. Let's talk about phosphorus. It is a mineral necessary for building strong bones, but for damaged kidneys, it is a nightmare. Healthy kidneys remove extra phosphorus. When they cannot, phosphorus levels in the blood rise. This triggers a destructive cycle where the body tries to balance the high phosphorus by pulling calcium out of your bone. This makes your bones weak and brittle, leading to a condition known as renal osteodystrophy. Furthermore, the calcium and phosphorus can clump together and deposit in soft tissues, including your blood vessels. A slice of whole wheat bread can have considerably more phosphorus and potassium than a slice of white bread. Therefore, ironically, many renal dietitians will recommend white bread over whole wheat to patients with advanced kidney disease to limit this mineral load. The third item on our list is perhaps the most famous fruit in the world, bananas. We have all heard that we need bananas for potassium to prevent cramps. However, as we discussed with avocados, potassium is the enemy of a failing kidney. A medium-sized banana provides about 400. While this is lower than an avocado, bananas are consumed much more frequently and often in larger quantities. Many people use them in smoothies, oatmeal, or as a quick snack, accumulating a high potassium load throughout the day without realizing it. The danger with bananas lies in the cumulative effect. If you are on a renal diet, you are likely restricted to about 2,000 milligrams of potassium per day. One banana takes up nearly a quarter of that allowance. If you combine that with a glass of milk and a potato later in the day, you have easily surpassed the safety limit. Kidneys that are struggling to function essentially face a backlog. Imagine a sink with a clogged drain. The banana is the water pouring in. Eventually, the sink overflows. In the human body, that overflow manifests as irregular heart rhythms. There are plenty of low potassium fruit alternatives like pineapples, berries, or apples that provide vitamins without the heavy mineral tax on your renal system. Number 4 might come as a surprise because it is often associated with growth and strong bones. Dairy products, specifically milk and cheese. Dairy is nutrient dense, providing protein, calcium, and vitamin D. However, it is also incredibly high in phosphorus and potassium. As we mentioned earlier, phosphorus regulation is a major struggle for compromised kidneys. But dairy presents a double-edged sword because it is also very high in protein. While protein is essential for muscle repair, metabolizing it produces waste products like urea and creatinine. Healthy kidneys filter these out effortlessly. Damaged kidneys, however, have to work overtime to clear these waste products. A high-protein diet, particularly from animal sources, this essentially means the remaining healthy filters in your kidney are forced to work harder, increasing the pressure within the kidney and accelerating the wear and tear on the organ. It is like revving the engine of a car that is already overheating. Additionally, the phosphorus in dairy is highly absorbable, meaning a large percentage of what you eat ends up in your bloodstream. For those with advanced kidney disease, drinking a glass of milk is essentially flooding the system with minerals it cannot process, leading to itchy skin, bone pain, and calcification of the arteries. Finally, number 5 is the poster child for healthy eating. Spinach and other dark leafy greens like Swiss chard. Spinach is loaded with Popeye ate it for strength. But for your kidneys, spinach poses a threat due to 2 main components, potassium and oxalates. We have already covered the potassium aspect. Cooked spinach is incredibly dense, shrinking down so that a small cup contains a massive amount of minerals. But the unique danger here is the oxalate content. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds found in plants. In a healthy body, oxalates bind with calcium in the gut and leave the body through stool. However, when there is an imbalance or dehydration, or when kidney function is slightly impaired, these oxalates can crystallize. They bind with calcium in the kidneys to form calcium oxalate stones. Kidney stones are excruciatingly painful and can cause physical damage to the kidney tissue, scarring the organ and further reducing its function. For someone who is already prone to stones or have reduced filtration capacity, high oxalate foods like spinach. It is also worth noting that cooking spinach reduces the oxalate content slightly, but not enough to make it safe for those on a strict renal diet. It remains a high potassium food regardless of how it is prepared. This brings us to a crucial realization about nutrition. Healthy is not a universal term. It is contextual. What is fuel for a healthy athlete can be poison for someone with chronic kidney disease. The mechanism of damage for all these foods boils down to the kidney's inability to maintain homeostasis. The kidney is the master chemist of the body. When it fails, the chemical balance of your blood is thrown off. Eating foods high in potassium, phosphorus, and oxalates when you cannot excrete them is biologically identical to taking a slow-acting toxin. The minerals accumulate, altering the pH of your blood, weakening your bones, calcifying your heart valves, and disrupting your heart rhythm. So what is the solution? It is not to stop eating. It is to eat smarter and with awareness of your own biological data. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a family history of kidney failure, you need to know your numbers. Ask your doctor for a simple blood test to check your creatinine and eGFR levels. If your numbers or margins are normal, you can enjoy avocados and spinach in moderation. But if your kidney function is declining, this involves making strategic swaps. Instead of brown rice or whole wheat, which are high in phosphorus, you might choose bulgur. Instead of bananas, reach for blueberries, which are packed with antioxidants specifically helpful for reducing inflammation in the kidneys, yet are low in potassium and phosphorus. Instead of spinach, try arugula or cabbage, which provide the crunch and vitamins without the heavy oxalate and potassium load. Instead of cow's milk, you might opt for macadamia nut milk or rice milk, which typically have lower phosphorus levels. It is also vital to pay attention to portion sizes. Even low potassium foods can become dangerous if you eat them in massive quantities. The key is managing the total load on your kidneys. Think of your kidneys as a filter that needs to last a lifetime. If the filter is getting clogged, you do not shove more debris into it. You reduce the input to preserve what function remains. This approach, often called the renal preservation diet, focuses on extending the life of your kidneys through dietary management. To summarize, the 5 foods we discussed: avocados, whole wheat bread, bananas, dairy, and spinach, but they can be detrimental to anyone with compromised kidney function. The potassium can stop your heart. The phosphorus can crumble your bones. And the oxalates can form damaging stones. The complexity of the human body means that nutrition is never one size fits all. We hope this deep dive has opened your eyes to the nuances of nutrition and the importance of organ-specific health. It is not about fear. It is about empowerment through knowledge. If you found this breakdown helpful, please take a moment to evaluate your own diet and share this information with loved ones, especially those over the age of 50 or those managing diabetes and hypertension. Your health is your most valuable asset, and protecting your kidneys is a non-negotiable part of longevity. We have linked some resources below for kidney-friendly recipes and a guide to understanding your lab results. Don't forget to hit the like button if you learned something new today, and subscribe to the channel for more science-backed health insights. Take care of your body, and it will take care of you.